Good evening, YouTube. It's your always George Paiges coming to you live on YouTube. Well, I'm just watching some UFC right now. I take a little break. Not much going on. I missed a couple of prelim fights where Sarge and a couple other fighters were going, but I really want to see that. But anyway, I was working on this little thing. As you know, last night was PKFC 19. Paige 12 gauge Vanzant, or I like to call her Pop Gun Paige versus Rachel Ochovich. And a lot of us, who know these women thought this was going to be kind of like a borderline, classic WWF bra and panties match. But it was a pretty decent fight. I was, my man, the coach, he actually did a live stream, and he got a little behind. He realized the fight was already set up and done. But, he called up and we talked about the fight. And then also I was lucky to find is, you can always find somebody post the fight on YouTube. All you got to do is put a search in, boom, you find it. It's not that hard. Anyway, this fight was set up about, a few months back. As Rich Ochovich was part of the UFC, and so was Paige Vanzant. And they fought as flyweight some time ago. And this was going to be a second fight between them. In the first fight, Paige won. And this was been back 2 or 3 years ago. And this was probably going to consider, this was part of the main event of PKFC 19. And Paige has a 3-fight contract with the bare knuckle fighting, and this was the second fight of her contract. And her last fight was against Britain Hart, and also was three win fights on the card, probably the most on a bare knuckle fighting card. And there was one that was between Taylor Sterling versus Sandra Robbie. And if you know anything about Killer B Sterling, last time she fought was against Charissa Sangala, and she won that fight. And this was, I think, her second or third fight in the with PK boxing. And these two were often pretty impressive young women, but the fight ended kind of quick with Taylor knocking out Rob in around about the first round. And and she was really confident that she was going to get maybe the bonus of the night. And I hope she did. She deserved it. One more time, she was in the interview, said, "Yeah, hell yeah. Don't be not being disrespectful. You are confident that you're certain that you deserve that, and you do." So anyway, the second fight on the second women's fight on the card was between Britain Hart versus Jenny Savage. As you know, Britain Hart fought both legends, such as she fought she had like 5 fights under the bare knuckle fighting. She fought a couple other fighters plus Paige Vanzant, and also she fought Beck Rollins. And this was an opportunity for her to, this is being a 5th fight. And Jenny Savage, who was also an MMA fighter, fought Sheena Starr. And this was like some time ago. I think it was like last year when these two fought. And, these two was kind of, I was watching their, they have the little weigh-in thing when you do anything. And they kind of like had a little rivalry. I think there was a little issue between them. I think it went back to when her fight against Paige, when I think Jenny confronted Britain. And they kind of scuffed a little bit, but how it is a step between them. And don't you know, it's kind of like Britain got a nice butt, And this is one thing. Britain got married. She got married, was it a few days ago, just before this fight. So congratulations. And the fight went for a good while, and ended in the 3rd round. I wish I found more pictures for this fight. The problem is, we all know the big fight was the main event, so I was lucky to get at least a couple of pictures for this fight. And Britain, I think she really wants a title shot. But I get into that later about how I feel where she should go with her career and who she should fight next. Now, we had the main event. Pop Gun Paige, as I call her, 12 gauge Paige. Pop Gun Paige versus Rachel Vanzant. And this fight looked like it was going to be a pretty decent fight. 2 former UFC fighters, who had a history. And, Paige, she's 0-1 with the BK boxing, And this is going to be the debut of Rich Ochovich. And I wouldn't be stretching like that on this mat. I wouldn't. I don't. You better wash your hands before you get up. And the good part of the fight was like back and forth. Paige got to go out of holding. But in truth, Paige put up a good fight. You gotta say she's a good fighter. Nah, I gotta. I'm just being kind. I shouldn't be. But Rachel, she was just savage, like my man WMA Savage. I miss you, Savage brother. We need you bad. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad that you I think what he did. He posted something to me a while back. I miss my man Robert Henry. This would be a great time for you to come back, brother. Once you get things together, get settled, when you get well, we need you because we miss Savage, WMA fan. And Rachel she was going back and forth with Paige. She was dropping some hammers. One point around about the fourth round, she hit Paige with a good right hand. She stumbled her. And this was just her fight to win. I mean, only way Paige could have won was with a straight knockout, and she didn't have it. I mean, Paige Vanzant, she's a pretty girl, but she's not a great fighter. And she was just getting dominated. Like James Green likes to say, Paige know how to take an ass whipping. That's my joker. But anyway, the fight ended, and both ladies are confident in how they place. But you know what happened? Rachel won. And little Paige wasn't very happy. And she marched off. I mean, damn. But you know what? That's the true sign of somebody. You know what? People say it's a bad winner. But yeah. But you know what? You shouldn't fake being friendly and hugging hands and shake. I'm like this. When you're in a fight with somebody and you lose, and when you lose badly, or when you really know that you lost, you shouldn't be hugging. Sometimes you don't feel like hugging somebody and shaking their hand. When you find out you lose, you just want to walk out and be done. That's human emotion. That's true human emotion. You may not like it. You may act like she's a spoiled brat, but that's just pure human emotion. She put up the best fight she could. She lost, and she just felt like but that's how it is. So you may not like it, but you gotta understand it. Now, there was talks that if Paige had won this fight, there was going to be a second fight between her and Beck Rollins, coming back from their fight from back in UFC days. But that's out of the question. There's no point fighting somebody who's 0-2, where Beck is she's been doing pretty good in bare knuckle fighting. Beck's been dominant. I mean, ever since she came over after after they cut her from the UFC. And, a better fight would be Beck Rollins versus Brittany Hart 2. That'd be the better fight. Now that, Brittany has been active, she has established herself. She has this is her second fight since her fight with Beck Rollins, a second, I think, a third, or whichever it is. But, she's been established herself. The big question is that, this is a fight that people will probably want to see. And it should be a title match. It'd be a great main event. People been putting Paige up front, but truthfully, there's no point putting Paige up front. I think he could put her like maybe second to third, or third to fourth to the co-main event or something like that. I mean, it'd probably be a better place for her. And this could be, like I said, a fight between Britain and Beck would be a great fight. I mean, you can really promote it. And that's what BKFC should do, promote this fight more than anything. And Beck's right now, the problem with Beck's is that she's from Australia. And Australia has restrictions right now because of the virus. I think that's one reason why she got cut from the UFC. She couldn't travel. Also, she has kids. She has a family. And I think she don't want to leave her family behind, especially with this virus going on. And you got to respect that person who values their family over money. Now, somebody can put a little extra money, but the cost to bring somebody from there and all the guidelines that Australia puts in against traveling, then it's not worth it. But maybe possibly next year, we could probably see that fight. So what to do? Well, there was, so right now, Rachel, she's sitting high. So she has a real future in bare knuckle fighting. So what's next for her? There was one point there was talks that if Rachel had lost, she would have fight someone like, Charis Sangala. Charis Sangala. And then, Paige was probably going to fight Per Gonzalez, because you already know Bex was stuck in Australia. But now that has flipped. That situation has flipped with this loss, and especially Pearl just put a whoop on this chick. I mean, damn, look at it. She looks like she got 7 heads. Not a forehead, 7 heads. Oh my God, that's swollen. It looks like she's about to have a baby on her forehead. And this would be a great fight to have. Both of them were cut by the UFC. Pearl only had 2 fights in UFC. After 2 losses, got cut. Rachel wasn't there that long, after she got cut. And this would be a great opportunity for them, being both 4 UFC fighters. They fought each other. Pearl originally fought in strawweight before they brought in the flyweight division. And if they had the flyweight division, I think Pearl would have been better off there. Because I think she was a natural straw. I don't believe she was. And I think this would be a great opportunity for both of them, And I think that this would be a fight to be made. I think this will be. I honestly think it'd be more of a co-main event, if not a main event. I think they're both attractive women in their own right, different backgrounds. You got Pearl from the mean streets of Chicago. You got Rachel from the islands of Hawaii. I mean, the Hawaiian girl versus the Puerto Rican girl. I mean, it's just something they could sell. Now here. This fight is more probably better for these 2 fighters. As Sharice Singala has been on a 2-fight losing streak. She lost to Taylor Sterling, and then she lost to Pearl Gonzalez. And same with Paige. She's on a 2-fight losing streak with the loss against Britain Hart and the loss against Richard Ostovich. So why not make this fight? They're both attractive. They're both good-looking young women. They're 0-2. This could be a fight to break try to break their losing streak. And I think, like I said, Paige has 3 more fights left on her contract. This is the last fight, so this is a fight maybe to end her contract with. There's a possibility, maybe a win for Singala. If not, hey, she can. She's 0-3. She can go off someplace else. So what's the future for Paige? Modeling. You're on IG, you're on, you can jump on, Twitter, all that stuff. I mean, people say like she's short, she's like this, but you don't have to do that big high fashion modeling. You can do the stuff like, for certain, apparel clothing that's associated to MMA and also other combat sports. I mean, that's really popular now. And, other organizations that we use someone like her. And also, here's a good thing for her, being a commentator. I think she could have a place at bare knuckle fighting championships. Be a commentator, sitting inside the, talking to the fighters, sitting beside at the commentary table. If they span if they span their brand and use someone like Paige Vanzant as the face, the fans or the simps will follow them more. You can put her on, like, do internet stuff, or any interviews, stuff like that, live stuff, specials every now and then. And somebody use Paige Vanzant as the face, your brand will increase. She's not my favorite fighter, but you know what? She's popular. She's cute. She's young. The guy's gonna go for it. That's how it is. Be smart. Bare knuckle fighting championships. Use her as a spokesman or something like that. She don't have to be like a ring girl or anything like that. Put her in the front. Have her do interviews. Have her talk to other organizations. Make her like a mascot. That's where she probably is better at than a fighter. Now, as you know, I'm quite often on social media, and I've started making some associations and some and conversations with ladies that are in the sport. And I got some information. This is from a lady that I'm not gonna carry her names because I'm gonna keep the confidence. But I found out that a while back, Vanessa Vanopoulos, Little Monster, that she has left her camp, her gym, the Black House MMA. And the problem has been something that's been going on some time. As you know, she was the former LFA strawweight champion. She lost the belt to Lupita Gutierrez last year. And she also tried to be a UFC fighter when she wanted to contender, but she lost. But right now, her last fight, she knocked out, I think it was Cynthia, I forgot her name was, a person that, a good friend of mine, Patrick Young fought, and defeated. And she defeated her in the first round. And she's hoping to get a push for the title, but from what I'm hearing, she's not getting that push. And then it wasn't that long ago that Tabitha Ritchie, who was also a strawweight for the LFA, got the push to go to the UFC, and she fought Manon Furiat, just to be a punching bag. But Tabitha, not Tabitha. I mean, Vanessa is kind of feel like she's getting neglected. But the thing is, maybe she might need to leave LFA. And there's always a good place. That most definitely, bare knuckle fighting is giving more opportunities for women, and also probably paying a little better than with LFA or any MMA organization. So how am I going over there? I've seen her in some videos where she's doing some sparring. She likes to go forward. She likes to be a fighter. She likes to be aggressive. Maybe that's better for her instead of being MMA. She's too much of a stand-up. And I think MMA is not the thing for her. She's not that good of a guard. Her stand-up is better than her ground game. But like I said, she can probably fight somebody like right here, like Taylor Sterling. There's also Sheena Starr. There's Jenny Savage. Those ladies are still up and coming in bare knuckle fighting. Maybe build herself up, or maybe bring somebody in for her and maybe test the waters. So, and then also they get a storyline they can work with, her being an ex-stripper. And I think that's the one thing I think that probably hurts her a bit, because even though LFA is MMA, that LFA is now, ever since Invicta left the association with UFC, LFA has become their new breeding ground, their new recruiting ground. They mostly recruit fighters from that organization than they used to recruit from Invicta. So LFA is trying to change their image. That's not, so I think her being an ex-stripper and all this other stuff, I think they're trying to get away from that. And I think that's probably hurting her brand a bit. I don't know if she's, she has that book about Bible strippers and stuff like that. I don't know if she still strips or not. I'm hearing maybe not from different people, but I'm not gonna nail it down and make confirmations. But maybe that's a better choice for her, is to get away from mixed martial arts and try bare knuckle fighting. She's young. She has good stand up. That might be an alternative for her. If she feels like LFA is not going to promote her anymore, not get an opportunity for a title shot, then move on. If you feel like you're not going to go to UFC, then move on. We all know Bellator doesn't have a strawweight division, which they need to develop a strawweight division, and she don't want to go sideways and go to Invicta. So why not just go ahead and go to bare knuckle fighting? They'll pay you more, and there's probably more opportunities. You're gonna look a little rough. You're gonna take a lot of beatings, but I saw you fight with Lupi, and you took a lot of beating from that fight too. Anyways, this is man always dressed Paige. Don't subscribe. I'm out.